Hello, this is Susan Paz. This is a question that one of my students sent to me using the square root method, and the question's not really so much on how to solve the problem. You see I've already got it worked out here. The problem is, what do you do with this answer down at the end that is not yet solved? So she's having some difficulty knowing how to simplify this. And I'm going to show you two methods and let you decide which one you think is the best, or which one you understand better. All right, so if I look at this in method 1, I can separate this fraction into two distinct fractions, each sitting over the denominator 9. Now when I do that, I think you'll be able to see that I can simplify by reducing using a factor of 3 with the 15, the negative 15 and the 9. I can also reduce here with the 3 and the 9. Notice I never go underneath the radical and address anything there. You just leave that the square root of 3. Right, so when I do that, you can see that I have two fractions. One is negative 5/3 reduced, plus or minus, and the other one is the square root of 3 over 3, and I am not going to write this 1 in here. Just like you don't write a 1 in front of a 1x, I'm not going to write the 1 in front of the square root of 3. I'm going to leave it there for just a minute, but normally you don't write that. And then you can merge these back together, keep the negative on the top with the 5, the plus or minus the square root of 3 in the numerator. And the reason you can merge these back together, of course, is because the denominator is the same. So you would write this negative 5 plus the square root of 3 over 3, comma, negative 5 minus the square root of 3 over 3. Notice that the negative 5 doesn't alternate signs. It's the plus or minus on the square root of 3 where we alternate signs. All right, so that's method 1. All right, I promised you two methods. So the second method is to look at this numerator and think about factoring it. So I'm noticing that negative 15 and this plus or minus 3 have a common factor of 3. So that's my GCF. I'm going to pull it out in front. That gives me a negative 5 in this first position. And again, I'm not going to write this 1 that's going to sit here. I'm going to write it for now, but in a minute in my answer, I'm not going to write that. And again, notice that I didn't do anything with the square root of 3. I just leave it the square root of 3. It's not a 3. It's a 1.73 repeating, non-repeating, non-terminating decimal. All right, so you can see that once I get this 3 factored out in front, I can now reduce, again, just those that are outside the parentheses. The 3 is the factor outside the parentheses on top. So I'm allowed to do a cancellation there. So once I get that canceled out, you can see I have the same result that I got previously. And of course, then you could write the answer separately if you would like. So I hope that helps, Dee.